I saw a post this morning and it triggered something to me, and it was basically, how can Walmart be open basically, but some of
Yeah.
these other places cannot? Does that bother you as someone who needs these things to you need restaurants and you've built your life around having these establishments being open, and then this other big conglomerate, this big business can be open? Does that hit you
Well,
in any kind of way?
it does, and it has hit me as the business, my business IOTA Creative Collective, that supports the community of musicians here locally. That was one of the hardest things to adjust to when everything really stopped in March. And that was that no matter what I did, no matter what I explored and what grants I tried to chase after, the PUA and Paytech Protection Plan, like all of those things, people in our community, the artist community, the gig workers and all that stuff were very much not really counted until we were included in PUA. And then, but with the PPP and Paytech Protection Plan, like I was too small to be considered. And because of the way that I'd structured my business to try to achieve solvency faster, um, with deferred pay for myself, that put me in a category that they didn't count me as a business. And so I was too small to really be considered. And all these monster conglomerates were not really negatively impacted because I think a lot of, in terms of policy, they were considered too big to allow to fail. And that's what we've seen with a lot of these recessions, like even the Great Recession in 2008, like they would not let certain businesses fail. They were bailed out because they were necessary. But I think what really moves everybody forward is the small business, because the small businesses really integrate into the community more, and people really fight for those. And they kind of, yeah, we like going to Walmart, we like going to the big box stores, we like doing all that, but those are by and large going to be okay. Meanwhile, the small business owner that's invested their blood, sweat, tears, and all of their dollars are going to get left by the wayside, and they'll be on the side of the road, as we move forward.
Zach, you're muted, but I'll jump in real quick. One of the biggest difficulties, I guess, for small businesses is constant change and not knowing what was going to happen, what the rule was today versus what the rule might be tomorrow, which is different than what the rule was last week. And here you're at the mercy of the small business, and the small business was at the mercy of whatever the decisions that the government was coming out with.
Right.
How was that for you? I mean, how did you even start to navigate through totally unknown waters?
So it is. It's been very interesting. It's been a a really difficult journey, and I say that because I'm in a unique position. I am the sole founder and funder of my startup right now, which means that the buck stops here. So I can choose to, because I work with mostly independent contractors right now, and I've done things to stay lean and stay agile. I've been able to really just put my business kind of in a hibernation mode where I'm really just, scraping by at the bare bones to keep everything together. One of the biggest things that we had for the last 3 years was our music festival, our nonprofit music festival. And that was impacted in a way that I didn't expect, because we were going to try to change it to be a virtual event, or we were going to work on, live streaming it. And we still needed to have insurance for it. And the insurance riders now have a COVID clause, that if your event causes a super spreader event or anything like that, like you are going to be liable and they won't cover you for stuff like that. So like those little changes that are like tiny little written into the passages and the underwriting of whatever policies you now have to consider. And all these other things have been like just really, I mean, the price for that insurance clause now priced me out. I couldn't even afford to do it because it was just ridiculous.
Wow.
Those are the little things that you didn't consider before that now you have to consider. And there's still things that are being revealed that we are having to adjust to. So it's really been about resilience and how quickly can you pivot when you get this new information. Like that's really it.